Coalition is demanding the release of high-level legal advice provided to a working group on the voice to Parliament. As the final wording of a constitutional amendment takes shape, a battle looms in the Senate over terms and conditions of the vote.
A group of 21 advisors representing Australia's First Nations people is standing its ground over the scope of advice provided by a voice to Parliament. The Voice Working Group has backed a draft wording for an amendment that would be inserted into the Constitution, stating the Voice would advise Parliament as a whole and executive government, comprising of the Prime Minister, his cabinet and his ministers. That's despite assertions from the Solicitor-General, Stephen Donoghue, that the legal power to act on the Voice's recommendations rests solely with the Parliament.
Now at midnight, the Solicitor-General has gone to talk to the referendum working group with the Attorney-General and identified that there's a problem with the government's wording.
Shadow Attorney-General Julian Leeser believes his contribution should be made public.
If Australians are going to vote on these matters, we need to see the Solicitor-General's advice.
A bill setting out the terms and conditions of the referendum will be debated in the Senate later this month, where it will face a number of attempted tweaks from the crossbench. Those include the independent fact-checking of brochures outlining the yes and no cases that will be distributed ahead of the vote. The Greens want to lower the threshold for public disclosure of donations. One Nation wants to delay the referendum until the next election. After voting against it in the House, the Liberal Party has laid out 3 conditions for its support in the Senate, but so far has only secured the provision of information pamphlets.
I'd encourage the government to come to the party with the 3 things that we have asked for.
If you get those 3 things, you'll pass.
That is basically what we've said.
The government needs 13 crossbench votes to get its machinery bill through the Senate, with the additional prospect of Liberal Andrew Bragg crossing the floor.
I want to see all Australians have their say, and I imagine that my colleagues want to see the same thing.
There are a range of different views in our party room.
Cameron Redden, Sky News, Canberra.